Shalom, this is your brother Shamar from the Phoenix camp. With that being said, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutation to the brother doing this work in true sincerity. And we're going to jump right into the lesson. This is Proverbs 14 and 15. It says, "The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going." So the key point that I want to get in that is that the simple believe every word, man. So the simple are easily swayed, they're easily persuaded, they're easily convicted of the propaganda that this devil puts out through his media, through his music, through his movies. And that propaganda is basically to give the simple as Jake, man and woman, inclined towards wickedness. And the thing about it is that they buy it wholeheartedly. They engage themselves in wickedness because of what they call media influence. They buy into it with so much zeal that it's to their own destruction. And that's part of the perpetual hatred that Esau Edom, the so-called white man, has against you, Jake, you so-called Black, Latino, Native Americans. Not only is he going to persecute you in the form of poverty and oppression and low social status, he's also going, and also what else did he persecute you with? He persecutes you with ill foods, bad medicines, bad diets, and things of that nature. So so he's putting war upon you, simple as Jakes, on all fronts. That's why the scripture said, "But the prudent man looketh well to his going." So because the prudent is going to take care of his own shit. The simple or not, they're just going to go along with whatever the latest shit is at the time. Remember, I think it was last year or year ago, something like that. Jake was heavily involved in these social media challenges. One of them was that milk crate challenge where you saw these stupid ass Jake. When you say Jake, you've been talking about your so-called Black, Latinos, Native Americans. Stupid ass Jake was stacking up milk crates and daring himself to walk upon it, which resulted in injuries and broken legs and things of that nature. And it just continues to be that wicked, man. Now the latest thing is thievery, theft. So the simple believe every word. And the devil's a liar. So if you know the devil's a liar, then why are you going to believe the words that he says? And also a proof of that is the Crown Royal, man. That Crown Royal virus and the inoculation that went with it. He influenced, and what's the word I'm trying to say? He convinced all you Jake, man, that was the thing to do. That was the way for you to secure your life, because he made it look like it was a life or death situation if you did not receive his inoculation. Because if you remember back at that time, the news was filled with this thousands of cases here and thousands of deaths. When in all actuality, even the elders made videos about it. Where's all the caskets and the body bags and the funeral processions and just the overabundance of dead bodies in these hospitals. There's even a video where the apostles drove by these hospitals looking for that, and it wasn't there. So that's why the scripture said the simple believers every word. So let's go ahead and get Romans 16 and 18. But to be in this truth is to seek out things for yourself, man. That reminds you of the church of Berea, and let's go ahead and get that. And then apostles and elders, they tell us also to search out these things out for ourselves. I don't know if I spelled that right. It's a lot. Acts 17 and 10, it says, "And the brethren immediately sent away Paul and Silas by night into Berea, who coming thither went into the synagogue of the Jews. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, in that they received the word with all readiness of mind, and searched the scriptures daily whether those things were so." So they were noble in the fact that they did not believe every word, that they searched out the matter, man. And that made him Noble. Let's get that word noble. Let's see here. Let's get that word noble. They were more noble, and that's well born, that is high rank, generous nobleman, well born of noble family, noble minded. Let's get that word noble in the Western 1828. This is the word noble. It says a great, elevated, dignified, being above everything that can dishonor reputation, as noble mind, a noble courage, noble deeds of valor. So the Search in Berea, they were noble men. They held to a standard. They were prudent. They weren't simple. And one of the things that make them prudent is because of their search of the scriptures, their study. Let's go back to Proverbs. It says, the simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his going. So they understood those things, man. They understood that all things have to be searched out. And that's what the simpleness of Jake doesn't do. They don't search things out. Because they're too lazy to. You know, Elder Gabar talks about in old videos how Jake is too lazy to look up words. And as you can see, if you look at the Brothers of Great Millstone, you know, you see that brothers constantly go into the Strongs and definitions of words. You don't see the other camps doing that, man. And that's the part of the characteristics of being a prudent man. Let's get Romans 16 and 18. This is Romans 16 and 18. And it says, Romans 16 and 17. It says, now I beseech you, brother, mark them which call divisions and offenses contrary to doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. And Jake ain't gonna do that. He's not gonna question the members of IUIC. They're not gonna question when their leaders change different breakdowns, different beliefs. They're just gonna accept them without question. They're not gonna ask themselves if it goes contrary to what the Bible says, because ultimately they're the symbol that believe every word, and also in the Christian church too, and also just Jake in general. As Romans 16:18, for they that are such serve not our Lord Messiah Yahushai, but their own belly, and by good words and fair speeches deceive the hearts of the simple. Now we brought examples of that, how Esau uses his media platform to have an influence, a wicked influence on you, Jake, or have an influence geared to your destruction. And that's always going to deceive you people to see him. He's going to use his influence and those puppets that he set up that look like you to convince you to take that mark. Let's go ahead and get that scripture. This is Revelation 13 and 14, and it says, and deceivest them that dwell on the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, because the simple believe every word, saying to them that dwell on earth that they should make an image to the beast, which hath the wound by his sword, and they live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. This is the key point right here. And he called us all, both small and great. And this he is talking, most specifically talking about the elites, those that run the world system, and those that have the designs to put a electronic piece of rice in you, man, as we like to call it sometimes. And he called us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their foreheads, that no man may buy or sell, save he that had the mark with the number of the beast, with the number of his name. Now that system is already here. That system of the MOTB, it's already in place, and all it takes is just a few more things to occur, a few more things to happen, and basically it can happen overnight, man. There could be a disruption in any of the world system that Esau has. So he makes it so that it's absolutely necessary for you to do this thing. And that's how it's going to happen, man. That's one of the ways it's going to happen. So he called us all small and great through his deception, because he has programmed the simple to believe every word. Let's get Ephesians 4 and 14 through fair speeches, man. So let's get Ephesians 4 and 14. Let's see here. It's Ephesians 4 and 14, and it says, I'll start at verse 11. It says, and he gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, men that are set up to teach and instruct the truth, which is going to be contrary of the influence of the devil in these last days, for the perfecting of the saints are the elect, for the work in the ministry, for the edifying the body of Yahweh Shai. So that edifying of the body is to build up against those deceitful words, those deceitful works. So we can have a knowledge, we can have a knowledge of Satan's devices or schemes. The scripture said we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. Really paraphrasing. It says, till we all come in the unity of faith and the knowledge of the Son of Yahweh, unto the perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Yahweh Shai. And this is all done through the preaching of this truth. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of man and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And that's Esau Edom. And that's also speaking about these other philosophies that are upon the earth, man. And Jake, he is tossed to and fro, man. 1 week he wants to be this, the other week he wants to be that. 1 week he's about, I remember back in the 90s, Jake was involved in the red, the black, the green, the so-called Africa movement. And then that turned into Egyptology, and that turned into gangsterism and a thug life, and it just tossed to and fro. I remember brothers always wearing medallions and Malcolm X hats. That was the big thing, the 5% Nation of Islam. And now it's a new thing every so often that Jake involved himself in. Now it could be a multitude of things now. It could be what's it called? Forgot the word for it. Prepping, or the attaining of weapons and guns. It could be trying to be self-sufficient or growing your own food. The thing about that, we're not gonna, that whatever Jake does, he's not gonna be allowed to prosper or in this society, because that's number one is not his place to do so. The Lord's not going to allow Jake to prosper in that manner. And that's already been evident by, such places as Black Wall Street and things like that, man. It's not the Lord's will for Jake to prosper here in his prison camp. This is the place of our captivity, and the Lord's not going to allow us to prosper in our captivity, because that's a judgment that's put upon us. But nevertheless, Jake is tossed to and fro like a child, carried about with every wind of doctrine. It says, I'm going to run that back again, Ephesians 4 and 14, that we henceforth be no more children, and that's due to this truth being preached correctly, the proper breakdown of the prophecies of the Bible. That's how you begin an understanding of the times. That we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of man and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. And that's how he's going to basically convince you people to take that MOTB. So it says 15, but speaking the truth in love may grow up to him all things, which is the head, even Shai, from whom the whole body fitly joined together, compacted by that which every joint supplies, according to the effectual working in the measure of every part, making increase of the body to edify himself in love. And that's basically speaking the perfect unity of the body of the elect, man. So let's get Sirach 3 and 24. This is Sirach 3 and 24. And it says, for many are deceived by their own vain opinion. And that opinion not even yours. Their opinion is influenced by the things that Esau brings out in his propaganda machine, which includes the movies, the music, the media, the news, so on and so forth. His puppets that he has to convince you, Jake, man, that it's cool to do this and it's cool to do that. It said, without eyes thou shalt want light, profess not the knowledge of the world that thou hast not. I'm just going to go to 324. I don't think I finished that. For many are deceived by their own vain opinion, and an evil suspicion is overthrown their judgment. Without eyes thou shalt want light, profess not the knowledge therefore that thou hast not. And we've seen that time and time again, man. You know, Jake, when I come up to the camp, you know, just saying that he knows everything. That he's about everything. I read this, I read that. I know about this, I know about that. But then you never see him again. So they profess a knowledge that they don't know nothing of. It says, a stubborn heart shall fare evil at the last, and he that loveth danger shall perish therein. An obstinate heart shall be laden with sorrows, and a wicked man shall help keep sin upon him. And so the key point is that many are deceived by their own vain opinion. In actuality, not even their own opinion, man. It's basically opinion that was given to him and under the influence of the lies that were taught to him by Esau, Edom, the devil, the so-called white man. Let's jump to verse 29. When they're on that, so the heart of the prudent will understand a parable, and attentive ear desire of a wise man. Because Jake always wants to talk before he listens. And the thing to do right now is just to listen to the prophets and elders of great millstone, and other like-minded men, and watch the prophecies be fulfilled. Watch the prophecies get broken down correctly, so you can be of a sober mind to understand the things that are going on. But with that being said, just a real quick lesson. Most I will and hope is edifying. We said I want to give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Kahala Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Let's keep on pushing. Shalom.